In the previous video, I talked about the problem with Gigabyte RTX 3080 and 3080 Ti boards. Due to a factory error, these cards are failing in large numbers. In this video, I'll go through the technical details of the issue. On gaming, Eagle and Vision models with the UP9511 PWM controller, there is a capacitor C920 that shouldn't be there. Because of it, the PWM controller gets a distorted current reading on one of the power phases. As a result, it incorrectly drives the power transistor. This one, the third from the top DRMOS, is the affected phase. The transistor runs under high load, overheats and fails much earlier than it should. First piece of evidence, the overheating of that power transistor. Let's take a look at the board through a thermal camera. Here is an unfixed board. The capacitor is still there. I'll start FURMARK now. As you can see, the third DRMOS from the top is hotter than the others. Now let's remove the extra capacitor. And check the same area again with a thermal camera. Let me explain why this happens. That's the second piece of evidence. Here is the schematic for the Eagle version. The GPU power delivery here is built around the UP9512 PWM controller, or its analog, the NCP81610. Look closely at this group of capacitors. They are part of the current sensing circuit to balance load across the phases. The current sensing on 9512 uses lossless DCR sensing. It uses an RC network to measure current. These are exactly the capacitors from those RC networks I showed on the schematics. Here is where they are placed on the board. Some of these boards were built with a different PWM controller, the UP9511. There are very few differences from 9512, but they exist. On the 9511, current sensing uses direct phase sensing. The measurement is taken directly from the phase PWM signal. On this version of the board, these capacitors are marked with an X letter at the end. That means the component is not populated in this revision. It's common practice. One PCB layout can be used across multiple models and revisions. Some areas may differ slightly. And this is exactly our case. So, on boards with 9512 or NCP, these capacitors are installed as part of the RC network. But on boards with the 9511, they shouldn't be installed. As you can see on the board, these spots are empty, except for one. C920 capacitor is extra and was factory soldered by mistake. But the strongest proof of a factory error came from Gigabyte themselves. Look at this 3080 Ti Aorus Extreme Water Block board. It came out later than the others. The circuit design and components are completely identical. There are only minor differences in component placement because the board shape is slightly different. Here is the same area on this board. All Aorus models use the UP9511 PWM controller, and it has the exact same surrounding circuitry, with one single exception. As you can see, the soldering is factory done. I didn't remove the capacitor off camera. And the backplate is especially ironic. Look where the only thermal plate is placed to pull the heat from the board. I searched YouTube for power system repairs on Gigabyte 3080s. Found 13 videos. In every single one, the repair was replacing that exact third from the top DRMOS. Also, big kudos to Dmitry from the Mafia 67 channel. According to Tony from Northwest Repair, he was the first one to spot this extra capacitor. By the way, I recently washed a beer-soaked graphic card under the tap. You have to see it. Here is the link.